Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. Welcome, guys. Happy Thursday. I hope you've all had a great week. It's obviously been a very eventful one thus far, but fear not, we have even more apparently coming as we close the week that we will talk about in just a second. But I'm Tommy. You guys also know me as Snorlax. Yeah, I switched up the order today, but I'm also joined by Max and Jackus. Welcome, guys. And welcome back to you, Chef. It's great to have you back on Market Check. I'm sure the audience is going to be eager to have you cooking for us potentially. So before I can even begin to yap about the market, we have Jackus back on Market Check. You guys know what that means. Smash that like button so we don't have to ask you. You've absolutely kicked ass with that all week. So I wanted to shout you guys out. But if I'm going to ask you to do it one more time so we can have Chef Jackus cook you guys up potentially a delicious meal here on this beautiful Thursday, November 7th. But let's go ahead and talk about the markets while you guys are hopefully being proactive about smashing that like button so we don't have to bug you again on the show. Bitcoin still looks great. Obviously, it's effectively in price discovery, but the real story overnight was that ETH finally moved. People told you the election didn't matter. And then what did majors do 48 hours after the election result? Well, Bitcoin had a 4 or 5K candle right up to all-time high, and ETH has finally gotten itself up off the mat. It's trading at the highest prices that it has since, I think, since August, actually.
Those are famous last words saying ETH has gotten off the mat, Tommy.
Yeah, I know.
Many men braver than you have said those words before, and it does not age well. But give it a try. That's fine.
We can discuss. I'm sure we will discuss it actually on the stream. But yeah, ETH right now is moving the hardest. Maybe it's just catching up to Bitcoin. Maybe it's just that people felt like they missed the Bitcoin pump and immediately started to pump ETH. Maybe they pump Sol next. I don't know. But we obviously have seen a bit of a regime change in American politics. Maybe we're beginning to see a regime change in crypto as well. But like I said, these are things that we will discuss on the show today. I look across the board. Unsurprisingly, ETH beta is outperforming a lot of the Sol beta on my watch list, specifically in some of these large cap meme coins. I think you have things like WIF and maybe PopCat that are perhaps lagging a little bit. And you know what else happened right into a big ETH candle, but a MOG Binance perp listing? Why not? Why not just give those Binance degens another ETH beta to speculate on as the price of ETH goes higher? Of course, equities as well, nothing but green, except for volatility, right? Which is getting absolutely crushed in the wake of the election. We talked about this dynamic multiple times over the last few weeks. But unsurprisingly, Tesla remains kind of that big winner out of the Mag 7. I definitely want to talk about this chart. It's one that I feel like is, if you're talking about leading horses in equity land, does the narrative, and I don't think it's going to shift away from AI, right? But does Tesla suddenly become a much more attractive long play versus something like NVIDIA? And as I'm kind of thinking about this duality between something like Tesla and NVIDIA, is that a similar effect that could play out in crypto among majors? So we will talk about it, like I said. But that's all the yapping I have to start the day. But wait. Before I even stop, we have FOMC today, and I completely forgot to mention it. So some of you guys probably don't even care anymore, but we do have FOMC today as well. We get to hear from Big Daddy Jerome Powell in the wake of everything else that's happened this week. So we'll see what he has to say. I have to believe that nothing out of the ordinary is going to occur, though.
I just don't think anybody cares about FOMC now that Trump is in office. Everybody's just like, hell yeah, Donald Pump is here. But the truth is FOMC is pretty important. So we'll probably want to talk about that. But the market's pricing in right now. It's like a 97 or 98% probability of a 25 basis point cut today. There's like a 3% chance-ish of a 50 basis point cut. So I think as long as you get a 25 basis point cut and Powell just goes up there and acts like a lawyer and continues to reiterate and hammer home the point of We will remain data dependent and use the tools at our disposal, and we remain committed to our long-term target of 2%. The exact same shit he says every time and just cuts 25 basis points, and then he decides to play whack-a-mole with all the bearish questions from the reporters. We're going to be good, right? I don't see why it would have any negative impact on markets if he just kind of sticks to the script, gives us just a measly little 25 basis point cut. We're good. Bada bing, bada boom. And then we can look forward to the market attempting to actively price in a 4-year Trump presidency in the next 3 months. That'll be really fun to watch them try to price that in right now, because they're going to. They're going to try to price in a Trump admin of a 4-year term in literally like 90 days. And I can't wait. I can't wait, because they're going to start building positions now for his entire term, which is going to be great. But you did talk about Tesla, Tommy. I mean, look, like, let's call it what it is. The world's wealthiest man, confirmed wealthiest man. I'm sure there's some Saudi money that has way more than Elon, but I digress. Confirmed the world's wealthiest man has perfectly aligned himself with the soon-to-be most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump. I don't see how Tesla doesn't just enter an absolute feeding frenzy, infinite twop over the next few years, starting now. They are innovating. Tesla is not just a car company. Is it bloated? Sure. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Okay. It's a social play. It's an Elon play. It's if any, like, nothing bad is going to happen to Elon or Tesla for the next 4 years. Like, they have the biggest insulation you can possibly have, and I think it's going to be reflected in Tesla's stock price. So, I mean, I don't think it'll outperform something like Bitcoin, but for all the equity bros out there, I mean, I don't see how you don't just shove a little bit of Tesla and just be like, well, let's just see what happens over a Trump presidency. I mean, arguably, Elon got Trump elected, and I think Trump knows that. I mean, they were hanging out at Mar-a-Lago together the night of, and Elon's going to have some role, official or advisory or, consulting in the government, and he's going to have a direct line to President Trump for the next 4 years. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have anything negative. Like, we're going to left curve it. There's nothing bearish about Tesla stock. And additionally, the chart looks good too, right? I'm not going to buy any because I'm like all in crypto here, but I mean, this is not a bearish looking chart in any way, shape, or form. I mean, look at this thing, like genuinely look at this thing. And I also don't think that it's like bloated here, because we could very easily approach it like this and go, all right, we broke out of this like multi-year wedge that goes back to 2020. And something interesting I observed about this was the stock split day right here. And if you draw the stock split, this was the stock split price right here. Like, this was where it happened. Right here. This was when they did the stock split. Just interesting to observe how price was interacting with the price of the split, or like the day of the split. But we broke out of this falling wedge right here. And now you've basically built mega demand right here, and you're breaking higher with like the best fundamental catalyst you could possibly have. I mean, literally of all time. So, I mean, I think it's kind of hard to want to like chase a candle, but I mean, if for some reason, you came up and you swept these highs, right? There's some highs right here for the taking, like, no doubt. If you did something like this, and then you came back like here, I mean, that probably makes sense. Like, Tesla's going to all-time highs, man. Like, it was written in the stars, unironically. And additionally, something to note about Tesla, Will has talked about this before. All right. Will has talked about this, and I'm going to show you guys what we're talking about here. We'll save this quick as wedge. If you look at Tesla, there actually is a correlation to Bitcoin. So here's Tesla in log, and we're going to put Bitcoin down below now. They're both beneficiaries of liquidity cycles, and they sort of bubble at the same time. So here's Bitcoin down below, and you can see that, Bitcoin and Tesla rally like literally at the same time. Like they start going crazy, and this is in log mode, so it doesn't like look too crazy, but I mean that was a big move for Tesla. And then last cycle, right, you can see pretty damn clearly here that there is a relationship between Bitcoin and Tesla and how they move. So I don't think it's coincidence that, they're kind of perking up here at the same time. But I don't know. I mean, it's actually, let me chart Bitcoin or Tesla against Bitcoin. Let's just see. I'm so curious how that chart looks. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's going to gobble up everything, but yeah, I mean, not really a ton of signal, but anyways, yeah, bullish Tesla, man. Bullish Tesla. I don't see how you can't be.
It's in my opinion impossible to be bearish on Tesla. Like I just don't know any reason why it would be. It's like you said, Max, like the richest man in the world, or I guess, at worst, the third richest man in the world is has joined up with the most powerful man in the world. And yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue that richest and most powerful are not that different in today's day and age. But like we know the contextual backdrop that we're heading into for Tesla. Like this is probably a stock, and I was just looking at the NASDAQ weightings. It's only about 3% of the NASDAQ currently. I expect that number to climb pretty rapidly over the next few years, to be honest. And I mean, maybe the play is actually to chart Tesla against some of these large cap tech stocks like an Nvidia, like an Apple, like a Microsoft, some of these companies that are ahead of it by weight in the NASDAQ. Because, yeah, I mean, like Tesla looks like it might be about to give us a pretty big gap up candle. And then I think, and it's probably not going to give you much of a pullback at this point.
This is Tesla, Nvidia right here. Wait, are we talking? It's so funny that you said, what is it? Tesla represents 3% of the NASDAQ. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
We're talking about Tesla dominance now. Tesla.d.
Tesla against Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Broadcom, and Meta.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Tesla dominance.
I mean, if we're talking about tickers that will be directly affected by a Trump presidency, it's in a basket for me with just like everything that's risk on. Like Russell's going to do great. Bitcoin has the all clear. ETH has the all clear. Then you get the on-chain effects. So like, I mean, we're talking about like risk on for 4 years, but within that basket, specifically large caps, Tesla, Doge, like for me, it's all kind of the same thing. It's just a category of risk. It's a way to reflect froth and excess in these markets and a speculation bid. So yeah, I mean, I don't see how you're wrong on that Tesla will gain market share over the next couple years, right?
Yeah. Especially because some of these other companies, I mean, like Tesla's been consolidating since 2021. And some of these companies have obviously made all-time highs since that. It cyclically feels like it's time for Tesla to begin moving. I will say that, and I think there's probably going to be some alpha in figuring out which beta of Tesla is going to run the hardest. I know we know a few of them, but do I know if they're going to do well regardless of Tesla? Well, Tesla's going to be ripping higher. I have to imagine to some degree it will bleed over into EVs, but do we think they'll outperform Tesla, right? It's the classic like Bitcoin versus altcoin correlation between the two. I mean, if one of them is going to outperform Tesla, to me, it looks like it's going to have to be Rivian.
I just don't think it's going to. And it's one of those things for me where It's because of the political alignment. What's up, Tucker? It's because of the
What we doing?
political alignment where
Yeah.
it's like, unless Rivian does something spectacular, like they have to prove it. They don't have a cult like Tesla. They don't have a cult leader like Elon, and they certainly don't have the political alignment. I don't see why. Like, okay, if there was a major legislative bill that got passed that benefited all EV, then yes, you're going to see a speculation bid roll over into smaller EV companies. But if it's just going to kind of continue on the same legislative path that it's already on, where they give you some tax credits and things like that, which again is nothing new, it's nothing profound, you have to just bet on the cult. One of my prerequisites for getting involved in anything, whether it's a meme coin or a stock, is like, there's nothing better than having a good cult leader for anything speculative, right? And it's like, why is Nvidia pumping so hard? Yes, there's legitimate demand, but they also kind of have like a cult leader, man. There was a picture of their CEO signing some chick's boobs.
Mhm.
Like check cult, good cult. You know what I mean?
The easiest
Elon-
way to create a cult, Max, is to make people really wealthy.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, they will ride and die by you, man. So it's like, think about all like the best meme coins out there. Like they all kind of have like a cult leader, you know? And like, you know, I'll shout out like K Money with Mog, right? Like that man puts in work for Mog, man. Like he's like Mr. Mog, right? So it's like you look at unless you have a meme like a, you know, like a Pepe or something where it just has like instant internet virality, you kind of need like the mascot, the rah-rah guy, right? There's no better rah-rah guy than Elon, man. Not even close. No one comes close, man. It's just a social bet at this point. Like throw your earnings out the fucking door. You know? Elon Trump.
There is no better man for Andy than Max.
True.
I'm loud, you know. I'm loud for sure.
But as BB grows, Max grows, Andy grows. Think about it.
Well, Jack,
By the way,
you've
guys,
recently posted about Andy, and you have a much bigger following than me.
but I'm not the Andy expert as you are, Max. You are
Jack,
like the
you are the
number one.
everything expert. I haven't seen you miss a trade since I've known you, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's fake news.
Okay, fine. You missed one trade. That's it. Only one.
Wait. Why are we looking at Tesla Rivian right now, guys?
So we were talking about, would there be a potential for, you know how we compare like Andy against Pepe? If Tesla catches a big bid here in the next couple years because Elon has perfectly aligned himself with the Oval Office, and he's the cult leader of cult leaders, will some of that money in a speculative fashion flow over into smaller EV companies? And I was
Trump
arguing
would be
probably not.
bad. I think Trump would be bad for EVs that are non-Elon aligned.
Yes.
I was kind of wondering the same
Yeah,
thing.
honestly.
Yeah,
So-
because
Listen,
it does
guys.
seem like there's going to be more of a push towards American-made energy. And I mean, Elon already did the hard work. So I'm going to speculate on Tesla, but it is pretty difficult to move down the risk curve with some of these other EV stocks, unless the chart, you know, is basically undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, people are just trying to bet on like a Ford Chevy situation, right, with Tesla and Rivian, but I don't know if it's that straightforward of an analogy. You know, like I don't know if you need two EV makers. I mean, you might just get dominated by Tesla at the end of the day.
I'm expecting that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what do we think about ETH here? The title of today's show is ETH Pump Loading. And we saw some interesting activity in ETH BTC very locally, right? Very locally. But also, ETH USD is perking up. And I will say the USD pair looks really solid here.
Yeah, I was shocked last night and this morning when I saw what ETH was doing. I mean, this is such a regime shift, right? Like when Bitcoin pulls back, ETH pumps. Like that has not been the case for, I mean, the whole range. That hasn't, like when Bitcoin would pull back, ETH would pull back more. right? Bitcoin pulled back and consolidated, and ETH started ripping, and alts started ripping, and that is a bull market. That is a trend. Like that's different, you know. So yeah, bullish.
Guys, I gotta say, study the ECME gap.
Yeah, that too.
ECME gap. By the way, guys, I'm just so happy to be back, and I didn't get to it, but I'm still obviously, streaming from my bed. I cannot sit at my desk just yet, still cannot walk, but healing at last. And just wanted to say I appreciate everyone's support once again. So I seen some of the comments, obviously here today, but throughout the whole weeks, and just wanted to say a big thank you and happy to cook here with the boys again when the times are finally here. The times we've all been waiting for, the times to pump this market and have fun and show the bears the middle finger and all the doubters to just shut their mouths, man. Let's enjoy it.
Jackets, we're thrilled to have you back, bro. We've really missed you. I know that you're missing a leg, so now you only have one leg, but or now you're missing a leg, so you only have two legs, not three. But we've been missing you, man. But you know what? Because you haven't been on Market Check in so long, we might need to see some Jackus charts. And I know you're in bed, and I know you have a laptop, but I know that you can still chart on a laptop because I also own a laptop that I used to chart on.
Jackus, also BB is gonna pay for that robotic leg, brother. Don't worry about that. We got you.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is gonna pay for that.
Yeah.
He's gonna create the bionic legs.
Jackus, would you do a face
With AI in
reveal?
it.
Would you do a face reveal at 100K Bitcoin?
Not at 100K Bitcoin.
200.
No. That's too lame, man. What are we talking about? Now listen, let's do it this way. Now this is too much of a pressure live stream. I do not want to go for that. But I could do a face reveal, not when BTC hits certain price, but when BB hits certain describer number.
All right, what's the number?
What subscribers are we on right now?
YouTube has 21,000.
I would love to do 100K, but I feel that it can be met very quickly, and I'm not sure I'm prepared for that.
Okay, 100K.
100K locked in, Jackus.
That's a 5x. That's big.
Yeah, that's huge. Damn, we're only
1
at
million.
100.
1 million, says Aaron. I like 1 million subs for BB, man. That would be awesome.
That might take us a while.
We will hit it eventually, but it might take a minute.
Wait, Tommy, do we hit 1 million subs before Bitcoin hits 1 million?
Bro, let me answer that. Yeah, are you kidding me, dude? Do you know the growth of this channel of Bitcoin?
Well, you know the only reason he's thinking really hard is because it's not bearish on us, it's bullish on Bitcoin, right? That's why he's thinking so hard about it.
Tommy thinks $1 million Bitcoin in like 2.5 years, man.
Well, maybe not 2.5 years, but like it's a little bit more malleable than that. But I do think that Bitcoin will hit $1 million, 100%. Especially if this is a cycle that lasts for like, it's not the traditional 4-year cycle that ends in 2025. It's a more of a super cycle that ends up in like 2027, maybe even longer than that. We don't know, but yeah, yes, I do think that those are inevitable targets for Bitcoin, in my opinion.
Wait, is there a poly market bet on that, Tommy?
If I could, I would. That'd be a really long time to custody funds with poly market.
Yeah, but you could put. I mean, I'm sure it'd be like 1% chance. I'm gonna look right now.
Bitcoin to hit 1 million by X date.
It'd be a good payout, but you'd have to leave it in there for 5 years or something, which I don't know if anybody wants to do that.
No.
If the payout is worth it.
You probably just want to buy Bitcoin and have it liquid, and you'll still make a ton of money.
Guys, by the way, I want to apologize for my mic if it's not that good, but as I said, I'm streaming from my bed. So just mentioning that before I get back on my desk. Speaking of, I could touch upon Rivian and Tesla with some good alpha today.
Do it.
Do it, yeah.
But you guys know the deal.
How many likes we need, Jackass?
Yeah, we're low. We're low. I saw it.
Low?
Yeah, we're real
We
low.
should- y'all
Up 200
we should-
a minute ago.
Y'all better be FOMO like, and I'm coming to the stream to check right now.
We should be 333 right now.
Oh man, put the soybeans up, Max.
Never in my life have I been more insulted by the lack of enthusiasm than I am today. Never.
Put them up, Max. Put them up, or I can put them up if you want.
You put them
Oh,
up. You
no.
pay for the premium.
Tucker's bringing the hammer.
Could we do some Tucker? I actually had a question about a pair today. Maybe you could chart it for me. I'd love to see how cotton candy looks against natural rubber futures today.
I was wondering that myself, Max. I was wondering.
A gentleman and a scholar.
What is it? RU1? Maybe we'll just make it. We'll just create it. Yeah.
Yep, guys. So this is cotton candy futures paired against natural rubber futures on the Heikinashi setting, 30-second time frame. It's starting to look like a potential accumulation down here at the lows. So maybe it would be a good time to sell your tires and buy some cotton candy.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would put your car on a lift, take the tires off, sell them, and then go buy some cotton candy, and then maybe buy your tires back at the highs.
Yeah, I like this down here. And then I'd slap some tires back on probably. I wish I could get some more.
I mean, winter's coming up, so you could right now sell your cotton, or you could buy cotton candy. So sell your summer tires, buy cotton candy, and then buy your winter tires back up at the highs. What is this?
It's this, Max.
Oh,
Guys, what is
wow.
this?
Who could have
We
foreseen
are
it?
listen, the market is pumping and we are looking at soybeans. What is this? Why
Hey,
are people
this
not
is on them, bro. This is on them.
why don't people want to just get rid of these charts and go back to the pumping charts? Back to the alpha.
Guys,
Yeah,
do
you
me a
got-
favor. If you are watching, take one moment. Just do us a solid, hit that thumbs up button. We always do this because it actually makes a difference, and I wish that it didn't matter, but it does matter. Mega cap tech overlords determined very arbitrarily and unfairly a long time ago in a boardroom that the way that content gets pushed on their platform is by liking and engaging with it. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Don't forget to do that. And additionally, if you're watching on X, hit that retweet button, guys. It's so easy to share the content. We're out here actually giving you guys analysis instead of just being absolute idiots and waffling about things that don't matter that we get paid to talk about. We're just talking about shit that we're trading. No one's doing it like we're doing it. The best channel out there, hands down. You know it. We all know it. Let's run it up. We want that Jackass face reveal. Share the content, subscribe, like, do it all, guys. Do us a solid. And thanks for being here, as always.
Yeah, I was thinking about our content earlier. I mean, we can like you can chart anything. We can get into if you guys want to scalp stuff, like we give the TA, but like I'm just thinking like this bull market, people are gonna be like, what do I buy? Like what am I buying? And like I just don't want people to come onto our channel and be like, oh, this is just like the boys club channel. They just talk about the boys club. Like, you know what I mean? Like what do you guys want to see? You know what I mean? Like we can do whatever, right? Like beyond just majors and like the boys club, like, what do you guys want to see? Because like we'll do anything. Like Max just said, like we're versatile, right? We can do whatever. But let's get off cotton candy.
I'm
Let's get
actually
off cotton
not
candy.
versatile. I can only
I know,
buy
Max.
Boys
Yeah, I
Club
should.
because
Yeah.
I'll break out in a horrible rash if I buy anything but the Boys Club.
That's
It's a
true. I've
condition
seen
that I
that.
have. I was diagnosed with it recently, so
Yeah.
it's a problem for me.
Yeah. Okay. So Max aside, I guess I'm versatile. I've seen the hives he's talking about. It's not
It's
good.
just like the whole neck gets
Yeah.
red and it's bad, man. Like, and I'm actually very offended that you would put me in a position to have to talk about my medical ailments.
Anything besides Boys Club, yeah.
Very offensive. Yeah. It's very insensitive. I mean, I have a problem. I have a problem.
Yeah. So this, guys, what I just said does not mean to drop your shitcoin ticker in the chat. Okay. That's not what I said at all.
I was about to say you probably need to clarify that because they'll
need to clarify. Like it'd be stuff like this, exit strategies, like what and where and when to buy. It's not like your micro caps on deck screener. That's not what we're talking
about. But my bag is the next big one, Tucker. That's what you not understand.
Yeah.
I love that meme with Michael Sayer on exit strategy. Exit strategy? There is no exit strategy.
How many chairs are you sitting on right now, Jackus?
On none.
None. Yeah, he's laying.
I'm literally laying in the bed.
Yeah.
Sold all my chairs. Sold my bed.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me just clarify one more time. If you want us to look at your specific shitcoin ticker, you're gonna have to go ahead and get the Discord because it's not gonna happen on here. All right, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, absolutely not. But exit strategies. I mean, I don't really want to talk about exit strategies a ton yet. I don't think we're there yet. I think it's good to have a plan in mind, but I don't think it's a little premature. Of course, here's the thing. Like, and I appreciate the comment, the guy who said that. That's it's the only one of the comments that I've seen after I said what I said that was not a shitcoin ticker. So that's nice. But it's just like the classic, like we just broke out of the range and exit strategies. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like the bear PTSD, which I understand, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, exit strategy is a long way off for me. Like we've floated the ideas out here of, time frame March, potentially April, May, but it's gonna be personal to you. But what do you guys think about that?
About
what's your exit strategy, Tommy? What's your exit strategy?
I mean, it's like you said, I'm not really thinking that far out. Like if majors look like they're topping, then whenever that is, that's probably going to be the top. I'm not going to be holding altcoins for major drawdowns on majors, but I do think to some extent, like, I mean, you can have, I think, a variety of plans. Like if you think we're topping in Q1, Q2 of next year, probably be a little bit more conscious of what that strategy is. If you think that the real exit from crypto isn't, until another 3 or 4 years away, then plan off that. But I think, you need to be a little bit flexible because we never know what majors are going to do at the end of the day. Nobody expected Bitcoin to range for almost 9 months at all-time highs, yet here we are. I bet a lot of people would have loved back in the spring to have sold a lot of their altcoin bags and just been relaxing right now, but it's hard to do that in the moment. So I just think you have to pay attention to majors, market structure on majors. If you think that majors are in a parabolic markup, then obviously take that into consideration. But I don't know if it's like a certain set of specifics unless you start to go into like individual tickers. And then I think you can kind of like hone out and iron out and hone like what's your individual thesis that you bought this coin and now you want to sell it at that price. Have those conditions been met for when you bought that asset or that thesis to be able to sell now?
I made a video on exit strategies. It's actually on our YouTube, but I will show you real quick basically what I talked about. Okay. So we're going to look at Bitcoin up top and then others down below. This is what I'm looking for, and you can watch it. It's a much more comprehensive video on the channel. When you see Bitcoin put in a lower high and others put in a higher high on the daily time frame after Bitcoin breaks market structure like this, just exit all markets. Okay. And the same thing, by the way, happened over here 2 cycles ago. It's the same thing every time. Altcoins put in a daily higher high and Bitcoin puts in a lower high. Right. So my plan is just I'm staying long as a human being can possibly be without going insane until I see a divergence between altcoin and Bitcoin performance structurally on the higher time frame.
I like it. I like it. Can we check in real quick on your others chart, Max? I want to see if there's some mean reversion occurring.
The cycle chart.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker, I'd be offended if you didn't want to see it.
I need it. I need to see it.
And I'd be happy to provide it.
And others
Solar
dominance chart too.
193. Let's go. What'd you say, Jackus?
And others dominance chart too.
Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, it should just go up. Should just literally go up straight into Bitcoin Vegas. Oh my god. I'd like to see some mean reversion, but what are you saying?
Tells you how undervalued we are still in this cycle, really, relatively speaking.
Even if we didn't and we just did this and we actually had diminishing returns for altcoins,
trillions,
and we just did this right here. So it's like 2 cycles ago, last cycle, current cycle. Like, I mean, man, that is from right here. That's a 700% move on others. Like, what are we talking about? You know? I want someone to answer the damn question already. What are we talking about? I could frame it differently. I could say, what are we even talking about? You know?
I still have one big problem with diminishing returns theory for this cycle. I understand it from and I am like I agree with it to the point where diminishing returns are there because as you get a higher market cap asset, it's harder to put more liquidity in to provide larger percentage returns, right? So like, for example, gold today is the largest asset in the world by market capitalization. It's about 15 trillion. So to double it, you would need 15 trillion of dollars, right? And you can get that, but you're only going to get it from like central bankers. And therefore, it's really hard to double it percentage wise. But so, and I do agree with this in crypto as well. You know, it's a general, logical thing. But I think there are very specific times in history where diminishing cycles are not there. I do not know if it's this one, but I tend to think it is this one. Because, first of all, we have a proof of that in charts like Bitcoin versus M1 money supply, where we can see that the past cycle wasn't really a cycle. It was just a printing one where every asset pumped. And obviously, Bitcoin and crypto pumped as well. But Bitcoin never really broke its 2017 high. But this time, BTC is about to break its 2017 high against the M1 money supply. Maybe Max is going to put it on the chart now. And I do think that there is a big difference for this cycle in a way where we are moving away from the very early adopters phase of the first 10 years, right? ETH was established 2015 or something. We are heading into 2025. That's first 10 years of altcoins. That's the early phase. I think we are going to head into the early adopters phase. And in this phase, it's going to be the same for BTC, by the way. It's going to go from 10% of population using it to the 90% population of using it. You will see it where all institutions are basically now for Bitcoin in a way. And if they are not yet, they will be, because Wall Street isn't already. And I think that because of all of these things coming together, we will see, we could see, obviously it's a thing of probability, but I think with Trump leading and being for Bitcoin as well, Trump winning and being for Bitcoin, I think like all of these confluences could make the cycle larger in percentage returns than the prior one. And I think lots of people are still stuck in the old 4-year cycle theory, and they think that we have 6 months left and that's it, and everyone's looking to sell on the next leg. I think lots of people could be in bigger surprise, and people need to embody this. And I'm reminding this in my newsletter, on these shows, on my Twitter and BB Discord so many times. Stay bullish as long as the market is, because the markets can trend for years. This market can easily trend for the next 5 years. Who knows how long? We can have some reaccumulation periods in between, like the one we just had since March till now, but that's not a bear market. It's just a pause. And then it can keep on going way higher. So stay bullish as long as the market is, and don't mid-curve this.
Yeah, wait, Jackus. So I'm just responding to some guys in the comments. So have you heard of this 5.3 theory?
No.
It's really just diminishing returns. I just typed it in on Twitter, and it's some guy waffling about diminishing returns, basically. Bitcoin went up 2,000% last cycle, so you got to divide that by 5.3. So basically, they're saying like we're going to top at 85K, which is laughable at this point.
Bro, not to cut you off, but like you don't break out of an 8-month consolidation for like a 10% move above the all-time high. I'm sorry, that's clownery.
Yeah, it's complete clownery. Complete clownery. So
you're not just a clown; you're the whole circus, man.
Yeah, it's
yeah, literally.
It's and they're trying to sound smart by saying it's just diminishing returns. Like Ben Cohen's been saying that forever, right? And he's been right, but at some point that will be broken. And I would bet with ETFs and Donald Pump in office that this is probably the cycle you break that. So
yeah,
go ahead. Hey, wait. Go ahead and sell everything at 85K if that's what you think, and let me know how it goes. So
I can see Big Tug there just laughing inside. Be like, yeah, good one, bro. Have fun. You just told me we are going to 40K. Now you're telling me we are topping at 85. Go sell and see how it goes for you.
I think a lot of people like this idea of bear market PTSD. Like so many people are so eager to just like take profit now because they're so traumatized by the range that we've been in. And I think what's going to cripple most people is they're going to start, like, this is the phase of the cycle where they're going to start taking profits way too early. And then they're going to be like, what the fuck, man? I just sold and now it's 100% higher than where I sold. Like, I really think that's kind of what most people are going to be dealing with. Not like getting positioned, but staying positioned.
You see that comment?
There is yeah. There's
bigger,
that good.
Be bigger.
There's that good saying that it's tougher to get to 100K from here than it is from 100K to 200K.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
Yes. Once you
Because-
get past that psychological barrier, the 100K everyone's been targeting for half a decade, the next 2x will be quick. I agree with you, Jackus.
And really, it's like all of these, and at the end of the day, it's really confluences, right? So like you always need to be like observing that your theory is right, but as long as it is, you just stay with it, right? And if you look at all of these confluences, like Bitcoin ETS, right? Wall Street position itself by now. You have U.S. government proposal now. Like everyone is like, how is that going to happen? Well, U.S. government has just proposed a bill to acquire 200,000 Bitcoin every single year for the next 5 years and acquire 1 million Bitcoin. That's about, that's too much of a money to come in, right? 1 million BTC right now, when OTC desks are empty, it's not going to be easy to acquire. So that's going to send this market a lot higher. You have this chart right now that I've been talking about for years. This is going to be the first real cycle since 2017. And this is the reason why I think this cycle has the potential to not do diminishing returns, but actually outsized returns than the prior cycle. That said, I do otherwise agree with diminishing returns, right? As I said in the beginning, whenever an asset gets higher market cap, it's just higher to produce larger percentage returns. But there are very specific times where you need to contextualize things. And I think if we contextualize them right now, then I just think that this cycle is likely to surprise many. Every single cycle, people have been waiting for higher prices. This cycle, everyone's waiting to sell. Everyone's eager to sell. And that's a major sentiment shift, in my opinion.
Real quick, a point that I just texted our dev. Somebody said the Trump discount code wasn't working. It's only for gold. So yeah, it's only for gold. So there's that. But anyways, you can continue, Jack. Or what were you gonna say, Max?
I was gonna say, like, I remember last cycle, we've talked about this idea before, where when you really get into the meat of the cycle, this next part where Bitcoin's in price discovery, ETH goes into price discovery, all your altcoins are popping off like back to back to back to back 40% days on your shitcoins. You get into this mindset where like you really begin to sip the Kool-Aid. Like you truly like have a tough time grappling with the idea of exiting the market. Like you don't have consensus from even early crypto holders of like, hey, it's time for me to start shaving. It's like all you want to do is buy more and you think it will never end. And it goes on for months. Until we get to that point, like we're nowhere near a top. Like this idea of like everybody that's here being like ready to take profits on like the next little pump up to new highs.
Yep.
That's not the top, brother. That's not. Like I promise you will be sipping the Kool-Aid. We will be here sipping the Kool-Aid live on this show every day being like, we are up 40% again today on Andy. Pepe went from 25 to 40 billion. And now we're going to raise our target from 50 billion to 100 billion. Like I promise you will see a live sipping of the Kool-Aid on this show. It's going to be hard to want to hit that sell button. So I'm just saying we are nowhere near like a sentiment top at all. Nowhere near. And you had a little tiny sneak preview of it back in February and March when all the celebrities came out and started dropping rugs and Jason Derulo was back and, whatever. You're going to see a whole new level to this shit, man. Like you are going to see like you won't be able to hit the sell button. You won't. And right now you're like dreaming of hitting the sell button.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you start legitimately thinking we will never get another bear market, and you're like, I think this is different, and you're going to rationalize it every fucking way you can. Oh, because Trump, and because we did a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and because of blah, 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 blah. and you just start like thinking we'll never pull back, you're within like 60 days of a top, but we're nowhere near that, man. Nowhere near it.
No,
I know it's
no.
hard to imagine that right now. I know it's hard to
Guys,
imagine that.
Max, just to match the prior cycle, BTC needs to get to approximately like 270k. I think that's doable, more than doable. 270k, and then anything above is outsized returns.
Yeah, I agree with you. And here, like, let's look at a few of these indicators, right? Which have really worked well in previous cycles. So looking at the BB terminal, guys, and by the way, all of our members have access to this. It's included in your gold membership, and I guess silver too. But you want gold? Like this is one of my favorite ones right here. Is Bitcoin terminal price. We've never had a cycle top without Bitcoin getting above the terminal price over here. So obviously the yellow line is Bitcoin, and bear markets occur between the balance price and the realized price. But you can see over here, like in the first cycle, Bitcoin topped above the terminal price. Let's go to 2016, 2017. Bitcoin put in a blow off top above the terminal price. How about last cycle? First top was above the terminal price. Right now, the terminal price is 158K, and it moves up as time goes on and price gets further into price discovery. So it's like for us to even entertain topping based on the on-chain data that we have, and again, you can access this all through the terminal, 158K should be broken this cycle, right? It should, based on the on-chain data. And then, we've got other things like, I mean, this is a good one too. This is a great one too. Like MVRV, it basically shows the same thing where like, I mean, look here in 2019, you have like your bear market low below the 0 line. This is the pink line is the indicator. And then you put in like your first top, then you pull back, and then you put in like a much bigger, like higher high. We just had like the equivalent of our 2019 top right here. So like this should be well above, like we should, let me take off price here. Like this one should at minimum be at like, 3.5 right here for your Z score. So your Z index. So it's like, there's just so many reliable on-chain indicators. Again, you can get them all through the BB terminal. Everybody gets access to it. That suggests we're nowhere near a top yet, right? We're nowhere near a top yet. And I mean, here's another one, Peel multiple, right? Let's put it in linear, right? Same exact thing here. Look what happened in 2016. Bear market low right over here. Peel multiple puts in its first top, Bitcoin kind of choppy, corrects, resets, and then you put in a much higher like blow off, right? Same thing happened last cycle. Bear market low, first top, sell off, distributive top. We're still in our bottom over here. Like we're still in our bottom over here. Like this is going to go up here to, new highs, 3.2, 4%, something like that, right? It's like the on-chain market is nowhere near heated up like, like people are like the sentiment is so warped because people have like you guys are actually early. That's the thing.
No, that's real. I mean, if you look at like, you can always look at Google search trends, right? That is like not even remotely close to where it was the last few cycles, like, app downloads, like all that kind of stuff. We'll add all that stuff to the terminal too, by the way. But yeah, I mean, from a sentiment and on-chain perspective, we're not topping at 85K. But Max, would you do this? So he was saying he'd love to see one of us like pick Bitcoin or Sol, walk through the terminal and show what we would analyze from the terminal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Like right now, or just like in the future as we
Just like a speed run of like, if you were like, all right, I want to potentially trade Solana, like what would I look at on the terminal quickly to like see what I should do?
So I'd probably go over here and I would start with like the spaghetti chart, right? And I've got some majors up here just by default. I've got XRP, Sol, BNB, Bitcoin, Doge, ETH. So like we're looking at like some big L1s. I would just try to make sure like, all right, am I going to be in a ticker, like comparing all the top majors? Am I going to be in a major that has been consistently outperforming like Bitcoin and ETH? And as you can see right here, like Sol's in purple. Sol, like when the whole market ramps, Sol and Doge have been ramping harder basically for the past few years. So I would start there and be like, am I positioned to outperform Bitcoin at a minimum, right? And in this instance, you're outperforming like everything else, right? For your top majors, right? And then just kind of get long as fuck that asset. Like if you're just talking about like L1 investing, I mean, that's a really like effective strategy. Of course, you know, then we have, you know, like, okay, for example, we have, let's do like address count, right? The amount of like addresses should be climbing, right? Like, so we just have Bitcoin and ETH right now, but you just want to make sure you're like in a period of growth, like on-chain growth, like not just that the chart looks good, but like people are actually like buying. And then if you kind of want to plan things out, right, you could put in like, you know, you could put in Sol and you could do like, you know, starting balance 0 and you put in, you know, $1,000 per week. And you could kind of back test it a little bit and be like, all right, if I'd done this starting like January 1st, you know, and just kind of play around with like which one's been performing well. And then, you know, just assume you'd done it through today. You can calculate it out and see what your equity curve would be. Like if 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you had started just like DCAing $1,000 a week into Sol, you know, this is what you'd be up percentage wise, right? This is what you'd be up percentage wise. Here would, you know, be all your buys, right? This is what the chart would look like. And then you've got like all your stats down there. So I would just go through and be like, yeah, like let's make sure we're in a period of growth. Let's make sure and we recognize that like Bitcoin on chain still has a lot of room to move up. And then do the same thing with BNB, right? Like if we change this out for, you know, for BNB, how's the starting balance look, right? So let's go back to, you know, 2022, we'll do the exact same days and see what percentage we'd be up. Sol was up, you know, 400%. BNB you'd be up less, right? So Sol has been leading like its nearest competitor being BNB, right? So just kind of working through it like that. Just be like, all right, let's see like how can we forecast potential future performance based on past results, which is really what a lot of trading and investing is kind of extrapolating out what has happened to what, you know, will happen. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I would start is like spaghetti charts, back testing on like our DCA calculator, and then confirming Bitcoin on chain still has a lot of room to go, you know?
Now, what about if you were a Euro scalper, Max? Because we have built this for Euro scalpers as well.
I mean, for Euro scalpers, right? You probably just want to check out like, you know, dude, how about Haggard's Super Sniper now added?
Study.
I love that.
Study it.
Study Haggard's Super Sniper on the terminal.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I've seen that some people were looking for codes to get back into the group to try the terminal. So with my return and with the fact that Bitcoin has hit new all-time highs and we are chatting and good times are back, there is a code, CHEF25. It gives you a minus 25% opportunity and minus 25% discount on the first month to try the terminal, to try the group. And it's only for 15 people. So don't wait too long. These are usually gone very quickly. And listen, people have really found it. Nothing is for everyone, but lots of people found their place in this BB community. They are enjoying their time. You know, it's all around. You know, you can find your channels that you love the most you can find the analyst you find the most, you like the most. You can chat around. There is a good vibes, memes, everything. And lots of people say that they basically multiply their entering money in the first months. So because there is just so much content in, like you will not be short of content. You will find, you will not like everything inside. Nobody does, because we are just so diverse. But you'll find what you love, in my opinion. And if you wanted to give it a try, again, don't wait too long. So yeah, only 15 spots available for some time now. Don't wait too long. But if you ever wanted to try it out, now that we head into volatile times again, it's a perfect opportunity. Or you can just try the BB terminal, right? That Max is showing you. Well, works for it too.
Yeah, so Max is showing us how to Euro scalp on the terminal right now.
So here's Sol up top. We get all these like indicators, right? So like if you were looking at Sol, right, like, and you're a Euro scalper, one really obvious observation that I'm seeing is that Sol open interest is now breaking to new cycle highs right here, and we still have a basically a spot versus perps dislocation where you can see that when there's this big discount, and you're seeing a big divergence between spot and perps, and you're in this red zone, that typically marks like an accumulation region, right? And then you'll notice here, if you're a Euro scalper, right, where is my little drawing tool? I think it's right in here. You can see that like cycle tops, or like local tops even, for Sol occur when funding open interest weighted gets really, really overextended. So like we're breaking out of an accumulation with OI breaking out, and our funding is nowhere near like levels of overextension to be worried about yet, right? So there's just so much to be bullish about when it comes to this chart right here, right? I mean, you can see it in the derivatives data. It is open interest is ramping up. You have a dislocation between spot and perps, which is really healthy and signaling accumulation, while open interest is breaking out and funding is still relatively tamed. Like it's hard to want to be bearish Sol with this setup right here. Really.
Could you show the heat map?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Locally,
I mean, we're just
a little bit
ramping.
below. Put it on like the 6 month or the 3 month. Like
I think we're implementing a new data provider right now, so it's like limiting the I'll message Ed and see when he's working on implementing it right now, but it's
intervals, yeah.
Yeah, it limits, and I signed the document yesterday, so we need like a day to get the longer liquidation.
They're good, aren't they?
They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking good, boys. Looking good. Explain. This guy said explain the super sniper. It's a good confluence tool for tops and bottoms. It's a thing that I, in my shadowy supercoder arc, created last summer. Yeah, I mean it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. You just got to play around with the time frames. There's not one indicator that lets you, that's perfect or anything, but it's pretty solid, man.
It's a confluence tool, right?
Yeah.
Like let me tell you this, guys, there is no single indicator. There is nothing that would just give you like a freeless signal, right? This is what people are looking for. They do not want to put in the work. They just want to be like, hey, indicator, tell me when to buy, when to sell. I do not want to do anything. So you will never find that. Trust me, I've tried when I was early in this career. I tried for like crossover of 3 indicators. No, it doesn't work. What you need is good indicators that work well, that work well, but nothing is 100% obviously, and then you need to contextualize them together with stuff that you know. So you can use, like, for example, I myself love to use a lot of market structure. I love to use RSI sometimes. People said it's not good. I beg to differ. I used it many times very well. I use funding too on the extremes and so forth, right? And this way I contextualize the data. So that's how Big Tech is using the Super Sniper.
Mm-hmm. Look at the Agger just ripping.
You gotta filter out the smaller orders.
Yeah, you gotta go like 50K plus.
I'll go 10K.
Do you guys remember when we used to listen to Agger live on Market Check?
Oh yeah.
So fun. So fun. We always lost followers though. People were like, what is this casino?
Tommy, what do you make of the Sol OI clearly breaking out to new highs? Do you think it's a time just like it's leading price a little bit?
It's probably leading price. Yeah. I mean, Sol has been interesting from a derivative standpoint all cycle because it just so dramatically eclipsed last cycle's all-time highs in open interest so early in the cycle that I didn't really know what to make of it. But yeah, no, I think Sol is going to be added to Athena's funding ARB as well, which will probably add open interest to it as well. But yeah, no, I mean that the setup that you've outlined right now looks very bullish for Solana. You know, it's what's going to outperform between Sol and ETH. I feel like that's kind of like varying on any given day, but just the Sol derivatives right now, as long as they're going to stick that breakout with the open interest that they've added, that's a very bullish setup. That signals that you probably have had a lot of spot buying and a lot of probably a lot of hedges that were put on Sol short so that people could speculate on chain.
Yeah. Most definitely. Wait, someone said boys were pumping. Tucker,
Are we?
are we pumping? You're back on the screen.
76.2. Oh, is that Sol up there? Yeah, here we go. All right. I mean, look at the meat stick being put in on Sol right now, man.
I mean, Sol has been your very clear risk on signal all cycle. I don't see why that would change.
Yeah,
I just
Johnny.
don't. I don't see why it
Sol
would
trying
change.
to break out. Bitcoin's kind of going for it.
What do we think about that before FOMC though? Is that troublesome or no?
I keep forgetting that today.
I mean, who gives a
Yeah,
fuck about
that's true.
FOMC?
Nobody
I'm pumped.
cares.
Nobody cares.
Literally nobody cares. Yeah, I mean, as long as they just do what they're supposed to and cut 25, like I don't care unless
All
they
he
say
needs to
something
do-
terrible, like whatever.
Dude, ETH is about to short. Dude, I can only assume that there's been a lot of short buildup for ETH in this range right here because it looked so cooked. I mean, you're gonna see a quick, like, you know, one of those, like Tommy, we've talked about this. Those 5-minute ETH candles that literally ramp 250 points. You know, like you're gonna see one of those for real.
Yeah,
Study that inefficient move down.
With lower time frame candles.
Study that inefficient move down in August. Well, triple that to the upside.
Let's see.
It's coming. The ETH CME. Can you put in the ETH CME chart?
Yes. Yeah, we got up to 30.50 about. We are in the gap.
We are filling.
Yes.
And I'm gonna steal this back real quick. Like now looking at this BB terminal setup with ETH, like your open interest has now exceeded this level right here. And I feel like you're about to see that same kind of catch up that we talked about with Sol. And I look at this and you still have that accumulative dislocation right here between spot and perps. You know, look at the sniper just working, bro. Look at Haggard Super Sniper. You know what I mean? Like, look at I mean, what are we taught? Like, someone tell me what we're talking about. There's like, we're ramping, you know, like we're ramping. And I think we're just lagging. Like, I think open interest is leading right now, man. I really do. You are just kind of breaking out of this range right here.
Dude, yeah, look at the sniper on ETH, man. Oh my god, that's actually better than I expected. I haven't looked at it in a minute, but I haven't back tested it either. But I mean, just back testing it with my eyes right now, it looks to have been pretty solid. So
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear, like, in my view. And dude, look at where funding topped out, you know, on these previous peaks, man. Like, look at, like, we're not even getting frothy yet, you know, like, we're not even close. Funding is not, like, people are not aping quite yet, you know.
I'm gonna steal Tommy's words and just say that people are openly interested in ETH.
mhm. Well, yeah, because okay, you look at the derivatives data, you look at like what comments have we discussed in the comments section so far this stream, like exit strategies. What was another one? Like 85K top because of diminishing returns, and then we have 77K short right now. Like people are not okay with printing money to the upside right now. They're just not. They're scared.
They're
Like,
not positioned for it.
no one's positioned for it. Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, I have been for about a year now. Yeah. So is this is the Binance chart, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what is Coinbase bidding spot, Tommy?
Let me look.
I mean, bro, look at the ETH liquidations heat map going back for a year. Like, so here's the derivative setup up top here. Like, bro, look at that level. Look at this level up here, man. Do you see this?
Right at 4K. Oh my god. That's the same setup that Bitcoin had when there was a bunch of liquidations up at 70K.
And like, look at this, guys. So like, we're talking about this idea of like OI ramping and leading back to this high right here. And we're lagging in price and funding. And you have this giant liquidation candle up here where like open interest is already kind of venturing to. Like, you could see a monster squeeze up to this level, 3,900, like quick, right?
Max, what does Pepe do if that happens?
Bro, you already know that we've been aping, so you already know what it's gonna do. It wouldn't surprise me to see Pepe at new yearly highs and new all-time highs this year, as long as ETH behaves. So
I love seeing majors lead altcoins, by the way.
it's so healthy.
We should definitely talk about that because Bitcoin and ETH are really leading the charge since New York opened, while you have major meme coins, at least from my purview, that are very much lagging behind the moves they put in since then, which is a good thing. We want them to take up as much liquidity as possible and break out before you see those rotations occur.
Yeah, Bitcoin daily RSI back above 70. Looking good, bruv. It's looking real good.
I don't think they can extend this out much more than like next week. It might even be a post FOMC rally. Like, it feels like any minute they're just gonna rip. So
I mean, we're about to get easier economic or monetary policy in like 2 hours. Like, oh my god.
And I think all that's priced in. They're just wanting to make sure that Powell doesn't say something spooky. And I don't think that he will.
It's just beach ball underwater.
Yeah, I mean, you can fade the super sniper if you'd like. You
Good
can
luck.
fade all the derivatives data if you'd like. I wouldn't personally.
I wouldn't either, yeah. Do we care about Dixie, Bitcoin dominance? What is Bitcoin dominance? Yeah. Bitcoin dominance is, what am I on? I'm on the daily. I mean, it's putting in a red candle right now.
Yeah, it is because of this move on ETH.
Yeah.
I still think Bitcoin dominance will lead us higher, just personally, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too, for what it's worth. Like, I don't care if Bitcoin steals the show again. I couldn't care less.
Oh my god. Yeah, the Andy meat stick is real. So is the wolf meat stick.
Show us your backup.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. That's not even the daily. That's the daily.
When these charts start
Great.
pumping like 50 to 100% a day, those will be the times. This is nothing yet. Like, this is nice, but we are still in a range. It's out there, you know. Give it a few days, likely, and you'll see the giga pumps.
Yeah, man. Pepe is going so much higher.
So much higher, bro.
It's literally gonna double from here, like pretty quickly, I think.
Here, let me show you my Pepe chart, bro. Like, you're at the final boss, this level right here, bro. Like that little diagonal. Once
Yeah.
you flip that, you have retired your offspring with Boys Club when that level gives out. You've retired them. Your grandchildren. You might not even have kids yet, but your grandchildren are chanting your name right now.
Your entire bloodline is chanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, these comments are just so nice to hear.
I know. Like, this is
Hey, guys.
truly
Brings
sit
us-
on your hands season. Sit on your hands season.
Which brings
But-
us to the end of the show.
Chef
Tommy,
25.
don't forget to mention Chef 25 if they'd like to join
Yeah.
us.
Make sure you guys use code CHEF25 to get some great discounts on some of our products, specifically the Terminal and Discord. Max, Jackus, and Tucker have already been touching on them throughout the show, so make sure to check them out. We have more information linked in the description below. Of course, as well, for our Discord, I'm going to continue to add, as I have every single day. We are on calls with you all 4 to 5 hours every single day if you are in that Discord. So you get a very intimate look at how we are positioning in the market and how we are viewing the market at any given time. And you also have a killer community that will get behind you as well. But yeah, in case the Terminal or the Discord are not for you, fortunately, we do have another solution potentially to offer you as well. And that is that we have an SEC registered hedge fund that focuses on digital assets in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while also balancing the downside risk posed in any financial markets. Right now, it's the enjoyable part, right? Where the candles are very green and we're seeing some of that asymmetric upside. But if maybe you're interested in having the team manage your money for you, BB Wealth Management. We have more information linked in the description below if you would like to become an accredited investor or LP. Of course, we also have the BB Academy, guys, which we did not touch on stream today, but I'm going to touch on right now. Best in class course. I'd be shocked if you could find a better course on all of CT, because you get to learn from an entire panel of traders, not just in how they trade, right? But also in how they analyze and how they approach markets every single day. And how they go about their system. And I think that is invaluable, quite frankly, because there is no one way that fits all. There is no one way to conquer this market. And I think the BB Academy is a great way to take advantage of that. Of course, if you enjoyed Market Check today, we will be back for another episode tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to it. We'll see if Jerome Powell throws us any curveballs, although it doesn't really seem like that's going to be the case. If he does, I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow. But we'll be back for another episode, like I said, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are live Monday through Friday whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. Of course, don't forget Wabi's show either. That is Market Talk. That is a Twitter space hosted by the Because Bitcoin Twitter account. And we'll go live usually in the afternoons, just not on Thursdays. So make sure to tune in for Wabi's show and stay subscribed to our Twitter account as well, so you can be notified not just when we schedule those spaces ahead of time, but also when we go live. But that is it from us, guys. It was a great show. It's always great when we get some volatility on stream. But until we see you guys tomorrow, thank you all so much again, and stay safe.
GG.